Welcome to Michelle's Making Coffee, Crafts, Cookies, and Cocktails. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. Don't forget to comment and let me know what you like. Well, it's time to smell the coffee. Today's creamer, butterscotch latte. It's delicious. And in case you didn't know, today is National Cookie Day. So we're going to enjoy making some cookies, my absolute favorite cookie recipe any time of the year, but especially during the holidays. It's a melt-in-your-mouth shortbread cookie. It's my Aunt Pat's recipe that she taught me many years ago, and I've enjoyed making them for many years. But I'm going to put the recipe in this comment section, so please give it a try, enjoy it, and share. Shout out to my friend Stacy, who enjoys shortbread as much as I do. Here's a great recipe. Maybe you could try it with your girls and start a new family tradition. And here are Aunt Pat's melt-in-your-mouth shortbread cookies. You'll need butter, cornstarch, vanilla extract, almond extract, confectioner sugar, flour, and candied cherries cut in half. You start by creaming the butter. Let that get really soft and creamy. You'll add half a cup of cornstarch, 3 cups of flour, 1 cup of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a teaspoon of almond extract. Don't worry, I'm going to put the recipe down in the description box. But you just mix everything together. It's going to form a very soft dough. Next, you'll flour your hands and take about a tablespoon of dough and roll it into a ball. Place these all about 1.5 inches apart on the cookie sheet. You'll want to flatten them next, and you can use a fork or the bottom of a smooth glass. Top each cookie with half of a candied cherry. Bake for 12 to 14 minutes in an oven that's been preheated to 350 degrees. The cookies should have the lightest golden brown around the edge. And there you have it, Aunt Pat's shortbread cookies. Our first project is a paint stick Christmas tree. For this project, you're going to need 5 paint sticks that you can get from any hardware store or purchase them online. A star for the top of the tree, this came in a 2-pack from the Dollar Tree, and a base. I'm going to use an old diffuser from a blow dryer, a 5-inch strip of the white automotive cloth, some wood glue, and hot glue. We'll also use the Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white and the antiquing wax. You'll leave 1 paint stick the full length and cut the others down to size and paint them with the chalk paint. I'm going to leave the lengths in the description box down below. Cut off the hanger from the star. Using a wood glue and hot glue combination, glue the pieces to the full-length paint stick. Be sure to cover up that little indentation at the bottom with the last piece. Next, you'll glue the star to the top of the tree. Then using the antiquing wax, you'll dry brush the tree to give it a distressed look. I used a couple of these wood cubes to glue to the bottom of the tree to give it a little bit more substantial base to be able to glue it into the diffuser. Next, you'll take the strip of automotive cloth and wrap it around using a little bit of glue to secure it to the base. And there you have it, a paint stick Christmas tree. Our next project is a remake on a Dollar Tree sign. You'll need a Peace on Earth sign from the Dollar Tree, and then one of the tag signs as well. And we'll use a couple of those wood cubes that I showed you in the last project. Begin by taking off the joy, because it's a piece that's glued on there, and sanding off the glitter. Next, remove the ribbon hanger and fill that hole in with some putty or spackling. On the back of the Peace on Earth sign, I glued 4 of the little cubes. That way, when it's glued to the tag sign, it's going to give it a little height and dimension. Next, I painted the Peace on Earth with the Rust-Oleum chalk linen white paint and set that aside to dry. Next, I used some scrapbook paper with a distressed wood paneling look from the Hobby Lobby. It says 69 cents, but actually they were 4 for $1. It took 2 sheets to cover the tag, so I just traced it out, cut it out, and glued it to the front of the sign. A lot of people use the back of the signs for their projects, but I like my back of the project to look kind of finished if at all possible. So if I can do it on the front portion, I'll do that. And sometimes it's just a little bit of sanding to take care of glitter or anything else that might have been on there. Using the antiquing wax and a dry brush method, I brush on a little to give it a distressed look. I applied hot glue to the little cubes to glue the 2 signs together. Next, I used some thin jute cord and wrap it around the sign using little dabs of hot glue to keep it secure. Tie it in a simple knot. Using the same thin jute cord, I wrap it around my fingers to make a simple bow, tying it off, again in a simple knot and trimming the ends. Next, I attached some greenery that I had left over from other projects, just hot gluing it in place and adding some extra pine cones. I think I got these at Hobby Lobby. I attach a few extra pine cones and then the little jute bow that I made. And then, of course, having to have everything with the snow-kissed look, I used the Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white. And there you have it, our Dollar Tree sign makeover. Project number 3, a candle ring. From the Brie cheese packaging, I'm going to use the wood ring for the form on my candle ring. Using the antiquing wax, I'm going to paint these wooden rings, and you can do it as dark or as light as you like. I'll show you here where I've done one a little bit lighter, just comparing the 2, but I really prefer the dark, so I did a little bit more. But you could really paint these any color at all to go with your decor. Don't forget to paint the inside of it as well. Next, I took an old garland that I had and glued it around each of the rings. I used some clamps here to save my fingers from the hot glue. Next, I took some berry garland that I got from the Dollar Tree and wove it around each of the rings. Next, I took some pine cones and glued them around each of the rings, and you can use as many or as few of these as you like. Next, I took some red ribbon and made a simple bow, just like you would tie a shoelace. I made one for each of the rings and attached it to where I thought would be the front of the ring. I think everything at Christmas time could use a little dusting of snow, so I took the chalk paint again and did a little brushing on each of the rings. But that just wasn't quite enough. I wanted it to have a little bit of sparkle. So I took out some spray adhesive and sprayed each of the rings and then just used a very fine glitter to dust the top of each of them. And there you have it. Project number 3, a candle ring. And now it's time for a little spirited refreshment. I'll include the recipe in the description box, but you're going to need vodka, St. Germain's Elderflower liqueur, triple sec, and Rose's sweetened lime juice for this my take on a martini. You'll need a shaker filled with crushed ice, and while you're making your drink, be sure to chill your glass with crushed ice and water. You'll mix 1.5 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of St. Germain's Elderflower liqueur, ¾ of an ounce of triple sec, and 3/4 of an ounce of Rose's sweetened lime juice. This is a case of shaken, not stirred. So shake it until it's well chilled. Empty your glass that was chilling and pour this refreshing take on a martini. This is Michelle's Elderflower Martini. Well, folks, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining me. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. That helps the channel grow. Give me a thumbs up, share with your family and friends. Make it a great week, and don't forget to stop and smell the coffee.